It's Brian Preston, the money guy.
All right, so we've answered the question for 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. Now let's talk about 60s. These are the folks who probably are the most likely to be considering retirement, most likely to be considering stepping away from the workforce. So the question that we have is, all right, $1 million, I hear you guys talk about it. It's sort of the creme de la creme of wealth, right? Like it's the thing that people talk about, being a millionaire. If I get there and I'm in my 60s, does that mean that I can actually retire? Is that a real and realistic number for me?
Now, here's the good news. When you're in your 60s, when we talk about inflation adjustments, we've been making some pretty big assumptions in the fact that we've been having to tell you what $1 million could be worth when you're in your 20s or 30s and purchasing power was. The good news is when you're 65, $1 million can purchase $1 million worth. I mean, not to be Captain Obvious here, but it is just $1 million is what it is. So you can try to very quickly figure out what does this buy me, and by our accounts, it can get you a reasonable withdrawal rate that can actually sustain you. But let's talk about actually what it means from growth, because it doesn't mean growth is done just yet.
It doesn't mean it's done yet. However, the onus is now fallen on you to build up your wealth. By the time that you get to age 60, if you're thinking about how much will your army of dollar bills grow from age 60 to age 65, it's no longer this 95% number or this 89% number. There's still growth inherent, but it's only about 22% of your portfolio will be the growth from age 60 to age 65. So at this stage, if you're realistic about being a millionaire, you likely have had to have done some work before you got here to hit that $1 million status.
Yeah, because if you're playing catch up, saving $13,000 a month when you're age 60 for the next 5 years, whew, that sounds like a pretty steep, pretty steep mountain to climb. But that's where the numbers fall. I still like that 22% can still come from your army of dollar bills. That's pretty powerful.
So here's the question then. All right, you guys said in the 20s, no, 30s, no, 40s, no, 50s, maybe, 60s. Let's talk about what can $1 million do for you. Well, we know if we have $1 million portfolio and we have a 5% withdrawal rate, that can generate about $50,000. Pretty simple math there of annual income for you. Well, when you take that $50,000 and you add on top of it the average Social Security for Social Security drawers in America right now at about $18,000, you have a total annual income of about $68,000 a year, $68,500. What's remarkable is if you look at the Fred data, you can see that the median household income for someone in their 60s right now, about $68,700. So if you get to $1 million with the portfolio income coupled with Social Security, you actually are able to replace 100% of the median income to most 60-year-olds in this country right now.
And that's pretty exciting stuff. I think that's what you're asking for. So in my eyes, it shows me $1 million is still a big chunk of money, especially somebody who's approaching retirement, who lives a reasonable lifestyle. $1 million or reaching seven-figure status, still something to be celebrated. I do think it's important to notice if you're in your 20s, if you're in your 30s, 40s, and even 50s, we're going to have to go beyond that. We're going to have to save more, but I don't want to stop you from, even if you're a 20-something or a 30-something, when you reach that seven-figure graduation point, celebrate it. I mean, there's so many trolls out there that say, yes, inflation's eating it all away, but I can tell you there is a critical mass moment that occurs. I mean, it's not. I think it happens even before seven figures.
Sure.
You will notice when you cross like $500,000 of investment assets, when it goes up 10%, like a good investment year, it makes $50,000 of growth. When you cross seven figures of $1 million, you make 10%. It goes up $100,000. You can quickly tell you're replacing years of your living expenses with that type of growth. That's the critical mass point that we get excited about. So don't let some troll tell you $1 million is not a lot. It just means that it just might be one of your stepping stones to 2 million, 3 million, and beyond. And we just want to give you the math, the numbers, because we're nerdy. And a lot of you guys, especially my 40 and 50 and 60-year-olds, you're like, hey, this is great. I love that y'all broke it down. But how do I know if I've stuck the landing on
or
this?
what about
Because
my situation?
this has a
not
lot
the
of
average?
variables, and I don't make what they were talking about on you need a budget or don't quit your day job
Yep.
or something like some of those different data points that we've used in our content creation. I want you, if you want personalized, that's why we always talk about the abundance cycle. We will give you tons of free advice. We'll love on you so you can start your wealth building journey. But you're going to be so successful. You're going to learn, apply, grow, reach success. And when you get to this point, we want you, when you start having the questions, what do I not know? I'm too busy to do this. I need to make sure I measure twice and cut once. You're going to remember who planted those seeds. And that's where the abundance cycle takes the relationship to the next level, and you work with one of our financial advisors.
And if you're not there yet, that's okay. Don't worry. We're going to continue to load you up. If you've not gone to check out our website, go to moneyguy.com/resources. We have tons of free deliverables out there. That's right. They're absolutely free for you to take and use. Things like our financial order of operations or our wealth multiplier. Or how do I know when to refinance? Or what are the 10 commandments of wealth building? If those are things you're curious about, go to moneyguy.com/resources. Or if you need just a little bit more, maybe you're not ready to take it fully to the next level, but you want to know what to do with your next dollar, or what's a mechanism for beginning to build wealth and really track that well, go check out learn.moneyguy.com for some of our advanced material on how you can take your finances to the next level.
Guys, we have a blast creating this type of content where we not only give you advice, thoughts, and other things, but we give you the numbers behind everything that we're doing. I think that's quite unique. We love creating content for you. We love your feedback. We're going to keep doing it. I'm your host, Brian Preston, Mr. Bo Hansen. Learn, apply, grow. Money Guy team out.